Bonsoir à tous, bonsoir à toutes. Donc troisième soirée du confinement Bière Fest ce soir. On est très content d'être avec Siberia à Prague. Hello guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Cheers.
Cheers. I see that you haven't waited for us, so that's great news.
We already started the festival.
We are in the brewery.
Very good. Very good. So I'm very happy to be here with Michel and Ruslan. So, donc, I'm going to translate, guys, from French to English, if that's fine with you.
Yeah.
Ok. Donc du coup, on est live depuis Siberia à Prague. Très content d'être avec Michel et Ruslan, qui sont respectivement fondateurs et brewmasters de la brasserie. On a 3 bières qu'on va boire avec eux aujourd'hui. Et voilà, donc ça devrait très bien se passer. So guys, tell us what will be the first beer that we'll be drinking.
Okay, so it's the first one that we already started with. It's our lager. It's Everyday Life.
Okay.
So this is the one we already opened, or
Okay.
actually put on the tank, since we have it just here by the source. It's our traditional Pilsner. It's our stable beer that we brew all the time. It's 12 Plato Czech Pilsner with a Bohemian malt and Czech hops. And we try to keep it as traditional as possible, so it's a good way to start.
Ok, thank you. Donc, on va démarrer par la Everyday Life, donc qui est cette canette-là, qui est donc une lager traditionnelle non filtrée, non pasteurisée tchèque. Voilà, et donc du coup, ça va être la première bière que nous allons découvrir ensemble ce soir. Donc, j'ouvre la mienne et puis du coup, bah, écoutez, on va se lancer. Cheers, guys! Thank you so much for being with us.
Cheers.
All right, so we have a very first question from Tom that asks us, do you use open tanks for this beer the traditional way, or is it closed ones?
No, we actually do use closed solder conical tanks, and we use one tank for the whole process, which takes about... Actually, this beer that you are drinking was lagered for 6 to 8 weeks from brewing, and we've been trying to perfect the process of making the lager ever since we started brewing here. So it's getting longer and longer, but it's worth it. The beer is clear, and hopefully you can appreciate it.
Very good. Donc, non, ce sont donc cuves fermées. Ils brassent la bière depuis le début, en fait, chez eux. Et voilà, donc là, elle passe entre 6 et 8 semaines en cuve, et ils ont amélioré la recette au fur et à mesure depuis le lancement de la brasserie. D'ailleurs, j'en profite pour leur poser la question de depuis combien de temps est-ce qu'ils sont ici, et depuis combien de temps ils ont installé leur brasserie. So guys, how long ago did you start the brewery? And did you started directly in your current brewery, or have you moved, or what was your story in a nutshell?
Story. Story is part of the name of the brewery. Actually, I'm a co-owner of the brewery, and I came here from Siberia.
Okay.
And about 8 years ago, first we opened in Prague bottle shop with beer which we import from different countries, and very soon after opening the bottle shop, we opened the bar. Name is Beer Geek. Okay. And almost very soon after opening bar, we also decided to start with the contract brewing.
Okay.
And about 5 to 6 years ago, we start contract brewing our beer and start brand Siberia.
Okay.
And since that, I was brewing the best Czech breweries. And 1 year and a half ago, we opened our own brewery right in Prague.
Okay.
So right now here in Prague, we brew quite a lot, and I think we are the second largest microbrewery in Prague at the moment. And so this is our very short story, but I can tell more if
No, that's very good. I'm taking notes because I want to make sure I don't forget anything when I translate. So, donc, ils ont monté la brasserie il y a maintenant 4 ans. Alors, pourquoi Siberia? Puisque Michal vient de cette région en Russie. Ils ont démarré donc en montant un beer shop à Prague qui s'appelle le Bière Geek. Voilà. Et donc, ils ont progressivement développer une activité de brassage à côté pour s'installer la meilleure brasserie tchèque à l'heure actuelle. Et ils sont déménagés il y a 1 an et demi dans le centre de Prague, dans une brasserie qui est toute neuve. So I think everybody is enjoying it. You can see that we have a lot of very good feedback on the beer. Simon says it's very dry, which is true. You have a point of bitterness, a little dry beer in a good way. Is it on purpose?
Actually, I think it's very balanced in terms of dryness and fullness. Yeah. So our purpose was to brew very balanced beer in Czech Pilsner style. So it's quite bitter as well, like most beer in Czech Republic, like lagers, Czech lagers. It's a bitter. So I don't know if it's dry, but in my opinion, it's not really dry.
We like our beer on a drier side, but it's not dry.
Yes, no, and I'm sorry if my English is not perfect. That's what I meant, basically, on the drier side. On the dry side, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, most of the beer we're brewing, maybe besides New England IPAs, we try to brew very dry because it helps to drink it if it's not sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will translate before I forget. Donc, il nous dit que eux, ils sont surtout à la recherche de bières très équilibrées, et ce dans tous les styles qu'ils vont brasser, mais surtout les styles traditionnels tchèques. Même dans leurs bières beaucoup plus houblonnées, et notamment citées dans leur New England IPA, ils vont aller chercher un côté sec, c'est vrai, un peu moins sur la rondeur, mais vraiment ce qu'ils recherchent en premier lieu, c'est l'équilibre. Eux, ce qu'ils mettent en avant, c'est la pointe d'amertume, en fait, qui est là, qui est assez présent sur cette bière.
Actually, I saw a couple of questions in English, so I can.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So I think a very quick one is craft beer a big thing in Siberia? Really, no.
Okay.
So it wasn't a specify of pills compared to pale ale.
Well, compared to pale ale, this is a bottom fermented beer. So there's basically 2 kinds of yeast you can use to ferment beer, and this one is a bottom fermenting yeast, which ferments at a lower temperature and creates less byproducts of the fermentation. Therefore, the flavor and the aroma is slightly less fruity and leaves out more to the hops, basically.
Ok, donc à la réponse des 2 questions qui ont été posées en anglais, d'ailleurs n'hésitez pas à poser toutes vos questions en anglais, en français, on essaiera de toutes les poser. Donc non, la craft beer n'est pas arrivée en Sibérie, pas du tout d'ailleurs, donc je pense que c'est assez inexistant. Et la deuxième question, la différence entre la bière qu'on boit et les pale ale, c'est simplement le type de levure qui est utilisée et la température qui va également être utilisée pour brasser la bière. Et là, on est sur des températures basses. Et donc sur ta question, Florian, donc effectivement, c'est un point qu'avait mentionné Ruslan et Michal, à savoir qu'il y a effectivement une petite pointe d'amertume qui est tout à fait voulue en fin de bouche. Et voilà. We have another question from Pierre-Louis that asks us if it's possible to see where you guys are located and if we can have a quick view of where you are. I guess this is the tap room, right? The tap room of the brewery.
We are in the brewery right now. We're located on the balcony, okay. So we're quite high right now. So you can see the brewery.
Awesome. Okay.
So here it's our production space. We have canning right now and bottling right now. And this is our brew house.
Awesome. Okay.
This is a free vessel brew house, 20 hectoliters brew size. So here are the fermentation tanks. We have 14 tanks right now.
Okay.
We're waiting for more next month. So we're expanding our capacity a little bit. And yeah, it's
Very
our
good.
tiny place actually. Only salience are very high. It's about 12 meters.
Yes, that's very good.
So we build a balcony to sit here on top and just to see all
Awesome.
the brewery.
What is the capacity at your brewery right now?
So our batch sizes is 20 hectoliters. And fermentation capacity, fermentation capacity is 400 hectoliters.
Okay.
So 40,000 liters we can ferment at the moment.
Okay.
And yeah, and we're waiting for more tanks, so it will be expanding a little bit.
Ok, awesome. Awesome, very good. Donc on se situe, mais je pense qu'on l'a tous vu sur le balcon qui domine donc la brasserie. Donc on est en fait tout à fait dans la brasserie, on n'est pas dans la taproom, hein, c'est moi qui ai fait une erreur. Voilà, donc ils ont des projets d'expansion, ils attendent des nouveaux tanks et des nouveaux fermenteurs qui devraient arriver. Et j'ai posé la question du coup sur la capacité de la brasserie. Alors ils m'ont pas répondu en capacité annuelle, plutôt en capacité de batch, et donc on est sur des brassins qui font 20 hectolitres. Great, thank you very much. So I think everybody enjoyed the view from from your balcony. It's a nice place to drink a beer. One question.
When we finish the canning, we're gonna take a barbecue and have some beer, which is a pleasant way to eat and be.
Awesome. So, do you brew mostly traditional styles, or are you expanding in like more crazy craft beer type of beer styles as well?
Basically, we brew mostly the new stuff. We enjoy brewing the lager, but these days, craft beer drinkers in this country and countries around here expect different beer from different kinds of style from the craft beer. So what we do mostly is New England IPAs. We are doing kettle sours, fruited beers, and more IPA.
We'll try it afterwards. Yeah.
So we enjoy lager. We enjoy doing lager so much, but sadly, most people in here have so much good lager all around that they want to drink something more, something different, something which they haven't tasted before. So we mostly do hazy, hoppy beers, fruited beers, and so on.
Very good. So first of all, I'm getting a lot of super feedback on the beer, so I think everybody's enjoying it right now. So well done. Et donc effectivement, sur les styles brassés, donc eux, ils sont vraiment plus spécialisés dans des styles, on va dire, de nouvelle génération, avec des bières plus marquées craft et dans des styles un peu plus originaux. Je montrais la canette qu'on va voir tout à l'heure, qui est un pastry sour, donc qui est une bonne représentation de ce qu'ils peuvent faire, mais ils font également encore des styles traditionnels qu'ils aiment bien faire. Awesome. I got this afternoon a few questions on the label that you use. How do you do it? Do you do the labels yourselves? Do you work with artists? How does it work for the visuals of the cans?
Yeah, we work with our good friends. It's a designer. He have a design studio in Prague. And yes, we really love our labels, and we just leave it to our designer to decide how our actually cans and bottles should look.
Okay.
And I think he's doing an awesome job in this.
Yeah, I agree. The cans are beautiful. Yeah, I agree.
Beer will be released in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. This is also lager, but this is lager IPA. This is a double dry hopped session pale lager. So this beer will be very hoppy, very fruity, very aromatic lager.
Nice.
And we also doing a new black cans, which is looking also awesome. And right now, today, we can in new beer. Name is a Kandinsky, because of the Kandinsky artist. It's abstract art artist, one of the starter of this abstract art. And so we collaborate with the local roastery, coffee roastery in Prague, and brew with them beer, which is a very strong stout, about 11% alcohol. So we put in this stout their coffee as well as a maple syrup. So it's a maple coffee stout. Will be also very soon.
That's great. When can we have it in France? That's the question.
The question.
It's just heading into the cans right now. It's heading into the cans just this moment.
So I will translate. Donc effectivement sur le visuel de leur canette, donc ils travaillent en collaboration avec un de leurs amis qui est graphiste et qui s'occupe du design de quasiment l'intégralité de leurs canettes et bouteilles. Et c'est pour ça qu'on retrouve un peu la patte graphique et une identité visuelle forte. Et donc du coup, ils nous montraient également les 2 prochaines sorties, donc les canettes qui sont en cours d'encantage ou qui vont être encantées avec des visuels qui sont pas encore sortis. Et donc, il y avait un Imperial Stout sirop d'érable et une lager plus fruitée, plus sur le côté fruit, voilà, qui va sortir dans quelques jours ou quelques semaines maintenant. We got a great question from Julien that asks us if lager in cans is something common in the Czech Republic or is it usually bottles?
Well, cans are slightly controversial in here because people are just getting used to it. Many people prefer bottles, but since cans are what we think better vessel to store a beer, we are trying to switch to cans as much as possible and trying to explain to people that it's more ecological and it stores the beer better. So, but yeah, there is a tradition. Traditionally, there are some big breweries which can the beer, and people are supposed to appreciate it and use it. But still, most of the people choose bottles, and hopefully it will be changing soon. So.
Non, donc ce que faisait Rostan, c'est qu'en fait, donc les canettes, évidemment, sont considérées de leur côté comme le meilleur contenant pour conserver la bière, surtout des bières craft, mais que c'était, en fait, un peu comme en France, encore très clivant dans la mesure où c'était encore associé à des bières de faible qualité, on va dire ça. Donc il y avait encore une majorité de bouteilles. A few questions. D'abord, bonsoir Camille également. A very strange question, and I don't know what to do with it. So Simon tells us that he heard that in Prague there was a way to drink pints of beer, but only with the foam. Is that something real, or is that something that does not exist?
Well, the tradition in here, most people in here drink beer from draft. Like not in France, I suppose in France you get mostly beer from bottles and cans, but in here most of the people prefer drinking draft beer. And the saying is basically the brewer brews the beer, but the bartender makes the beer. So in here, the bartenders are really proud of their art. And when you go to the traditional pub and you get a traditional Pilsner, you are able to choose the way you get your beer. And one of the pours that you can get is actually the full glass of just foam.
Oh, nice. Okay, so this so I learned something. Donc oui, effectivement, une excellente question de Simon, puisque donc en République tchèque, la façon de consommer la bière, c'est plutôt en pression et pas en canette ou en bouteille. Et donc il y a effectivement une tradition qui est effectivement de boire dans des pubs très traditionnels la bière avec beaucoup de mousse. Et donc du coup, ça peut voilà, c'est quelque chose qui se fait ou qui se faisait plutôt dans des endroits très tradis. Benoit asks us, thank you guys, by the way, for all the answers. I'm translating as I go, but I hope this is, I'm trying to be as efficient as possible in the translation. Benoit tells us that he saw that you brewed a beer, a brown beer with peanut butter. Is that correct? And are there any ways to find it, or is it just one limited release?
Yeah, there are only way to try it. It's for our direct subscribers to our special box, which we send every 3 months to the people.
Okay. Do you send it to France, or is it only in Czech Republic?
It is possible to send it to France as well.
Oh, nice.
But
okay.
It's only for a direct subscribers on our website, siberia.cz. So these beers are limited only to these people. Yep. And yeah, so we don't distribute it and don't sell these cans alone. So even if you come to our brewery, it isn't possible to try this beer.
Okay. So, but can I tell everybody that this box is available in France? Because I'm sure that there will be a lot of people interested by it.
Yeah, for sure. It's possible to send it to France, and I think only 40 boxes left.
Okay. Donc, je traduis. Donc, effectivement, Benoît, je crois que c'était Benoît qui avait posé la question. Donc, ils ont effectivement fait une bière brune beurre de cacahuète, mais en fait, c'est destiné à leur box. Alors, ils la font en très petite quantité. Et d'ailleurs, c'est même pas disponible quand tu vas à la brasserie ou pour l'importation, comme dans notre cas. C'est vraiment des box voilà, avec des produits exclusifs en quantité très limitée. Et donc, c'est possible de les avoir en France, mais voilà, ils en proposent très peu. Et sachant que j'en profite également pour dire que tous nos partenaires cavistes travaillent Siberia et proposent une très très grande partie des releases que fait la brasserie, et on les remercie d'ailleurs de travailler avec eux. Great.
Great question about aging in the cans.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Has issues with the beer aging. Actually, the cans. Why we choose it and why we think this is one of the best container or vessel for beer distribution, because the bottle it's possible to get light through it and get air through it, because bottle cap of the bottle have a liner, which is a plastic, and it's still possible to get some air through the agent through this cap inside the bottle. It's about 7 to 10 ppb per day, so it's quite a big amount for the beer. And after a couple of months, you have a lot of oxygen inside and the light as well, but can have a very good barrier from the light. Obviously, it's just don't any light get inside. This is the first big enemy for the beer, and the second big enemy for the beer, it's oxygen. And it have a very strong seam on the top, which close the can very well, and almost no oxygen can go inside. So beer ages in cans much more better than in bottles, because is a very small amount of oxygen which just go to the can on the canning process, stay in the can. And so no another oxygen can go to the can actually. So this is a small cake, just cake in your hands. The beer will be much more fresher in can if it fills with the good practices. So you need to fill it and control starting oxygen in the can. It will be better than in a bottle with the same conditions.
All right, so that is very interesting, and I'm going to try to translate it as accurately as possible.
Yeah, this is a little bit technical. Sorry.
Donc effectivement, la canette est en fait le format adapté pour faire vieillir les bières. Et de façon générale, en fait, ce que nous disait Michel, c'est que c'est également le meilleur moyen de conserver la bière. Et donc là-dessus, il met en avant 2 points principaux, qui sont la protection à la lumière et la protection à l'oxygène, qui sont les 2 sources de défauts principaux des bières. Et donc la canette, en fait, parce qu'elle est complètement scellée sur le haut, c'est ce qu'il dit avec le seal, mais également parce qu'elle est totalement hermétique à la lumière, permet une conservation et un vieillissement optimal des bières. L'analogie qu'il donnait, c'est qu'il compare ça en fait à un petit fût qu'on met dans la main avec une bière très fraîche et du coup au top de sa qualité. Et je suis d'accord avec toi, Fabien, 100% canne. Nous aussi ici, on est team canette, donc du coup, il n'y a pas de, y a pas de débat. Simon, je réponds à ta question. Le name Siberia, puisque Michel vient de Sibérie, du coup, il s'est installé à Prague, le jeu de mots faisait sens. A question from Tom that is, I guess, a home brewer and is looking for advice. What would be the best advice that you would give to brew the perfect lager?
Patience. It takes a lot of tries, a lot of time to let it ferment properly, to let it lager properly, and it's the most difficult beer to brew, and there is always something to learn. Even you can brew this beer all your life, you're going to learn something new. We are still trying to make the process perfect. So every batch we make one small step left or right to reach the beer we want to do. So really, you need to try and try and try. And the other thing is you need to drink good beer to know what you're trying to reach.
Yeah, that's two good advice, basically. Tom is getting 2 advices for the price of 1, which is a good deal. Donc deux points. Le premier, donc c'est que vraiment le conseil principal, c'est d'avoir beaucoup de patience. C'est une bière qui est difficile à brasser. Just give me 1 second. I'm sorry, my son is arriving. This is the joy of being in lockdown. He doesn't drink beer, that's a fact. Donc non, ce que nous disait en fait Roslan est très très intéressant. Donc le premier conseil pour brasser une bonne lager, c'est la patience, puisque c'est un style qui est compliqué à maîtriser et qui demande beaucoup d'essais et d'erreurs et d'ajustements entre les brassins. Et c'est effectivement, je pense que c'est effectivement un conseil très très pertinent. Et le deuxième, c'est également de boire des bonnes bières, puisque ça permet d'avoir un bon référentiel et un bon point de comparaison pour être conscient de la qualité de la bière qu'on brasse. Voilà.
I have a question for Eric. What about BPB? What is the BPB? What he wants to know about BPB reacts with the alcohol and time.
Yeah.
So what's the BPB? It's a question from our
so
side.
it is the metal in the can. So sorry.
So my question, what is the BPB?
So I don't know exactly, but I would believe it is the metal or the how can I say that, the substance that is in the can.
Inside the can?
Yeah. Basically, is there any contact with the metal that would affect the aging of the beer with time in cans?
Yeah, so beer have any contact with the aluminum because it's coated inside with a special epoxy resin. So this is just a very thin layer which is neutral to the beer.
Yeah.
And so it's a barrier between beer and the aluminum. So even sour beers, because actually acid can dilute aluminum, but even sour beers are good in cans because there are no contact between this between beer and the aluminum parts of the can. And there is a question about Siberia name. As I mentioned, I came from Siberia, but it's our designer, our great friend, actually came with this name because we have a beer inside. This is the most important part. And actually, the third question was about our core range.
Yes, I was about to ask this one, so that's a great question. Yeah.
So we have in our core range, we have a Lollipop. It's a West Coast IPA, and it is very good, by the way. I tried it and I really enjoy it. it was one of the first beer that we brew 6 years ago. We still try to keep the same recipe, just we put more hops because perception of hops are changing, and we have to put more and more and more hops to this beer to people just taste it like a hoppy beer because the taste is changing. Second beer, it's a grapefruit lollipop.
Yep.
This is the lollipop with the grapefruit infusion.
Okay.
Because the taste of this beer and bitterness of the beer very good partner with the grapefruit aroma. So because grapefruit is also bitter fruit.
All right, so let me translate that and let me just translate that and then we'll move to the next one. So,
Yeah.
donc on démarre donc effectivement sur la question qui a été posée sur la gamme permanente. Donc il y a donc dans la gamme permanente donc celle que l'on vient de boire. Il y a également une West Coast IPA qui pour l'avoir goûtée est excellente, hyper houblonnée et c'est un peu ce que vous explique Michel, c'est-à-dire que il y a une course au volume ou à la quantité de houblon qui sont ajoutés dans la bière et donc eux changent la recette régulièrement. Et la deuxième qui est donc une IPA pamplemousse et donc eux trouvent que c'est très adapté puisque l'amertume agrume du pamplemousse se marie très bien avec l'amertume de l'IPA. Désolé. Very good. Sorry, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I think we not really have a big core range. This beer, we put it in core range not so far ago.
Okay.
This is a Coco. The former name of this beer is a Coco Chanel.
Okay.
But we're a little bit afraid of this. Use this naming, so we just leave only the first part of it.
Yes,
So,
you should be out of trouble if you remove the last part.
yeah, so this is a porter with vanilla and coconut.
Okay.
Not very strong, very drinkable, and people love it, so we decided to leave it in our core range.
Awesome.
Also, one of our favorite in the brewery. This is a light lager, which name is Patronus.
Okay.
Like Patron, I think it's France because it's made for people who go in every day to our places and drink a lot of beer. So this is a very light and drinkable Czech lager, and it's made for them and for our internal brewery purposes as well. So we love to drink it here. It's still not in the can, but it will be.
Very good. All right. So I will translate, and then I'm getting a lot of push to move to the next beer. So we'll open the other one, but let me first translate that. So ils ont également deux autres bières qui sont dans leur gamme à l'année. La première, donc ils ont hésité à appeler Coco Chanel, mais par peur de poursuites judiciaires, ils ont préféré enlever le Chanel et ne mettre que Coco. C'est un porteur vanille coco, du coup, très, très peintable, très buvable et qu'ils aiment beaucoup à la brasserie. Et la toute dernière de leur gamme permanente, qui est donc du coup limitée, puisque Siberia fait plutôt des bières éphémères, en fait. Et on va en parler après, fait également des évolutions de gamme avec des séries, notamment la IPA Tone, qui est excellente. Mais la dernière, c'est la Patronus, qui est donc une lager très, très buvable, avec une grande buvabilité et qui est une bière très appréciée à la brasserie. All right, so I guess we will move to the next one. So this one, okay. By the way, quick question: you do 0.5 liters in every beer, right? It's not 0.44 or any other.
0.5, yeah, only.
Okay.
Actually, we have a great question about beer tradition in Czech Republic. So I just put it on my stack, and we will pour the beer, and then I will answer on this question about beer tradition in Czech Republic. Because it is a very, very good question.
Okay.
So you can pour yourself the beer?
Yes, absolutely. So cheers! Wow, the nose is amazing. You can smell the fruits. It's oh wow, nice, very nice. Okay. All right, cheers, guys. Thank you so much again. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Santé tout le monde.
Everyone who connect to us. So, question. 8 years ago, we opened our bottle shop with different imported beers. And one of the reasons was that there was absence in the market of the imported beers. So we already fall in love to the craft beer scene, but the local scene was very young, and most of the beer what was brewed by local small breweries was just traditional lager because of the country tradition. And when we open our bottle shop and start to import different interesting breweries from Europe, like a Brewdog, for example, Mikkeller or Nøgne, one of the breweries who start this culture in Europe, it was very very new for this country, and first couple of years it was very hard to represent this beer to the people, but we try to do our best, and hopefully also a lot of new microbreweries was opened in Czech Republic, and they start to brew another styles, and we in our bar helps to grow this culture of new craft beer revolution.
Yeah.
To be think in the Czech Republic. So this is our cooperation with our good friends from Poland.
So
country.
maybe if you allow me, I will just translate that because that's very interesting. I want to make sure that everybody gets it. Donc effectivement, merci Renaud, que j'en profite pour saluer d'ailleurs. Une super question. Donc alors, la réponse est assez complexe, donc je vais essayer de la traduire assez rapidement, mais en gros non, ça a été très compliqué. Ça a été une lente évolution dans un pays où il y a une vraie culture brassicole très traditionnelle, et donc du coup il y a eu tout un tas de barrières à faire tomber et beaucoup de résistance au démarrage. Et donc non, ça a été un processus long et qui est d'ailleurs toujours pas totalement finalisé. Et là-dessus, en petite anecdote, donc j'ai passé pas mal de temps à Prague et je confirme qu'effectivement la craft beer n'est pas très présente, notamment quand on compare avec la France. I'm getting a lot of very good feedback on the beer, by the way, so congratulations. It's and I can tell it's very, very good. I'm curious, how much fruit do you put in the beer? Because it looks, it smells, it tastes amazing.
We put a lot of fruit. We basically, this particular beer wasn't brewed in this brewery. We traveled to Poland. We'd make a small business trip for 24 hours because that was the only time allowed. We went to Poland. We worked on a recipe with guys from Nepomucen who invited us, and we spent a nice day brewing there, drinking some beer, discussing beer. So I can't tell you exact number what they put in there, but when we brew these beers in here, we basically brew around 2,000 liters of beer and put around 600 kilos of fruit in there.
Ah, wow, that's huge. Okay.
So it's excessive amount. One of these beers we will be canning next week. It's gonna be in this way, but slightly different, and we're still trying to improve on a recipe. So hopefully, it's going to be another good one.
Yep, absolutely. Donc en fait, c'est une bière qui est brassée en collab avec une brasserie polonaise. Donc elle n'est pas brassée chez eux, celle-là, elle a été brassée chez leurs potes polonais. Et je pense d'ailleurs que Michel va nous expliquer un petit peu l'histoire de cette bière. Un tout petit mot donc sur le volume de fruits qui est utilisé pour brasser. Donc ils mettent à peu près 600 kg de fruits dans un brassin de 2000 litres, donc c'est absolument énorme. Et d'ailleurs ça se ressent directement sur le côté hyper équilibré, hyper fruité de la bière. All right, so I agree with everybody that the beer is simply amazing. Can you tell us a little bit more about where it was brewed, why the name Meet Our Friends from Czech Republic, and who is it in collaboration with?
It's Nepomucen Brewery. It's actually quite conveniently close. Poland is a huge country, but it's conveniently quite close to Czech border. So we're able to get there and spend the whole day in there and brew this beer. And what you see on the can, actually, the guys from Nepomucen have a really good designer as well, because this particular this particular building you can find in the middle of Prague. It's a famous dancing house, but they put a little can on it.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
Which is a nice play on an architectural classic in here. And it's 8.5% beer, which means there's quite a lot of alcohol in comparison with the other kettle sours and sour beers we brew. But considering how much fruit they put in there, it nicely balances the sourness and the alcohol and makes it quite drinkable. And sweetness as well. And sweetness as well.
Yeah, I really like. Donc, alors, peut-être pour traduire, donc c'est brassé avec une brasserie qui est polonaise, qui est de façon très pratique localisée. Alors, la Pologne qui est un très grand pays géographiquement, mais la brasserie est basée très proche en fait de la République tchèque, donc ça simplifie le voyage. Ça a été fait en 24 heures de voyage, donc vraiment en aller-retour pour brasser ça. Effectivement, donc comme nous dit Ruslan, on a ici donc un bâtiment qui est très connu à Prague, qui est un immeuble et qui a été retouché en canette par l'artiste qui a designé l'étiquette. And I do agree with Florian here that says basically that you do not feel the 8.5 ABV. It's very balanced. It's I'm in love with the beer. Great job, guys. It's really amazing. I like it a lot.
And we have a beer release maybe in 2 weeks. This is a pastry sour.
Yeah.
With mango and apricot.
And some vanilla.
Yeah. So I tried today from the tank and it tastes really good. Very fruity. It's not so strong. It's about 6.6 ABV.
Okay.
It's and sour and very, very nice. So if someone like sweet and sour beers, like pastry sours, so this one will be very, very nice example of it.
And we were very lucky to get other beers from the Yumi brand. We got 2 of them, I think, over the past 2 months. The blackcurrant one, and as well as the pineapple one that you released a few weeks ago. So I agree, it's very good. Those 2, yes, exactly. Those are the 2 ones. Yeah. Donc peut-être pour
so people like these 2 that much that we decided to brew another one and trying to put more fruit into it and into it, and so on. We're trying to build on this recipe we got just to push it at slightly bit higher.
All right. Donc en fait, Siberia a une gamme qui s'appelle Yumi, qui est donc spécialisée, enfin pas spécialisée, qui est en fait le nom de leur bière et de leur variante de pastry sour. Et donc du coup, il y a plusieurs recettes et qui évoluent à chaque fois. Et les 2 dernières, qui sont donc ananas et cassis, qui ont déjà été sorties. Et là, ils nous présentaient en avant-première la toute dernière qui sort et qui est également mangue. Tom says we need it. I agree. We need the latest release.
We will have it in the distribution. It's without
without peanut butter.
Without peanut butter, so we can sell it.
All right. So no, very yes, exactly. Very, very nice. Very nice. So again, a question that I got a lot since we started working with the Siberia brand in France is that you have a lot of different how can I say that brands. You have IPA Tone, you have Yummy, you have a lot of other names.
Series of the beer. Actually.
Series, that's the word I was looking for. Yes. So, can you tell us a little bit more about it? About the different series that you have?
Okay, so the one we play the most with is actually the IPA Tone. which we wanted to find a way how to experiment with IPAs on different colors of IPA and hoppy beer. So we basically have it always got a 4-digit code, and the first two numbers let you know the kind of IPA it is. So we've got West Coast IPAs, 02 is New England IPAs, 03
nice, I didn't know. Okay.
IPA, and this lets us to try and experiment with different hopping rates, different new hops, and so on and so on. So mostly we are focusing now on New England IPAs and trying new hops. We've got HBC 586 actually.
Okay.
That we just put in a tank yesterday, and we've got what was it? Idaho Jam actually, and so on and so on. We're always trying to get new hops and put it into the beers and see what we like. And in case one of these beers is so successful that people will ask to get it back, we might make it a permanent brand. But for now, these are just one-time things for us to play with the hops because we just enjoy it so much.
And also with the yeast and with
the yeast and the malts. Like
yes, you play with everything.
There are so many possibilities to try that we just want to try them all.
Okay. All right, so let me translate that real quick, and then there are a lot of good questions. So, donc, en fait, ils ont effectivement plusieurs gammes. La plus connue étant la IPA Tone, qui est donc leur série d'expérimentation d'IPA. Donc, à chaque fois, ça se compose de 4 chiffres. Donc, quand ça commence par 0,1, c'est une West Coast. 0,2, ça va être une IPA. Et ensuite, les deux autres chiffres, c'est le numéro de la série qui est brassé. Ça leur permet d'expérimenter tout un tas de recettes. Ce qu'ils disent, c'est que le jour où il y a une très grosse demande et un vrai coup de cœur sur une des bières, ils pourraient la mettre à l'année. Mais pour l'instant, c'est vraiment pour l'expérimentation. A good question from Julien that asks us, do you listen to music while you are brewing? Est-ce que vous écoutez de la musique quand vous brassez, et est-ce que vous faites des trucs marrants pendant le brassage?
Yes. This space is just like made for music, so I usually get here around 7 o'clock in the morning. There is nobody around, so there's lots of music, and
nice.
And lots of fun.
Lots of fun, yeah. I have fun with mold when I get here, and once the guys get in here, we spend 8 hours a day or more listening to different kinds of music. We've got different styles, so actually it's a good way and good place to explore new music.
So how does it work? Does somebody, do you rotate on who chooses the music, or do you have like
we are nice to each other, so we ask each other what they like, and I'm more into rock music. We've got a friend of mine here who likes rap music, and the other one likes classical music, so we change it a lot.
Okay, and so I have to ask, does it impact the beer styles or the way you brew the beer, whether you are listening to classical music or to super heavy hardcore metal?
You always brew it with smile, and it works.
No, I understand. That was a joke. Yeah. Very nice. So Simon really wants to know if you listen to black metal. He has a lot of questions about it.
We're here for a couple batches, and we most heavier stuff just when I'm here by myself, so it happens sometimes.
Okay, very nice. Ok, donc du coup, ils écoutent tout type de musique. Hein, c'est chacun son tour choisit les musiques qui vont être écoutées, et voilà. Donc ça a évidemment pas d'impact sur la qualité de la bière ou la façon dont ils brassent, mais c'est quelque chose qui leur met le sourire aux lèvres. C'est ce qu'il m'a dit. J'en profite d'ailleurs pour vous remercier. On vient de passer la barre des 75 personnes qui sont connectées sur nos différents streams. Donc, du coup, un grand merci à vous tous. Very good question here, because of course, Czech Republic has a very rich culture of hops. So the question is, do you have local hops, but also do you use a lot of local hops, or do you source mainly from other regions?
Actually, we made a whole series about local hops. The name is Evolution, and we start with the 3 Evolution beers. Have you had it?
Ah, nice. Okay.
So this is the beers with a big double cone hop
Yep.
on this can and different colors, different hops. Actually, we partner with a local hop producer. And first, we use 3 different experimental hops, which are not in the production. We just try to brew different style with these hops because we was very excited about this. Very nice aroma. 2 was the very tropical and very IPA-like, and 1 was very good for a lager. So we brewed 2 American Pale Ale and 1 lager.
Okay. So maybe just to make sure I understand correctly and I translated right. So you on the Evolution series, you use mostly local hops, right?
It's local experimental hops. Like these are hops that the hop growers are just trying for the first time and wanted to see how it works in a beer.
Okay, nice.
So
okay, very
in this
interesting.
series, we use only local hops. So there are only Czech hops in the Evolution series.
And and by the way, we are very fortunate to have the one of the series is available in France right now, so I will say that to everybody. Donc, c'est une excellente question parce qu'évidemment, la République tchèque a une culture très riche de culture de houblon justement. Et donc en fait, non seulement ils utilisent beaucoup de houblons locaux, mais en plus ils ont développé une gamme qui est vraiment dédiée aux houblons tchèques. Alors, ce qui explique, c'est qu'ils utilisent surtout des houblons expérimentaux qui vont décliner dans leurs IPA. Et donc, j'en profite quand même pour dire que, voilà, donc avec une magnifique canette sur la gamme Evolution, ça s'appelle. Et j'en profite pour dire que, évidemment, toutes les dernières sorties Evolution sont disponibles sur P'tite. N'hésitez pas à aller chercher. All right, yeah, that's very good and yeah, that's very interesting.
So in our everyday life, we use only Czech hops. We use Zad's hops from Zad's region. This is one of the most famous hops in the world, and they mostly exclusively used for lager brewing. And the Czech Republic is very big producer of these hops.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Donc, et pour compléter la réponse, évidemment, sur la Everyday Life, ils utilisent les houblons tchèques traditionnels, Zatz, et du coup, ils nous rappellent que la République tchèque est un très, très gros producteur. A good question from Tom. Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that next week we are actually brewing another part of Evolution series because we were visiting the hop facility where we get our hops from. And they have an anniversary in Asa to ask us to brew a nice beer with their own hops. So we'll be using a new version of sauce, and we'll be using some locally grown Cascade and so on. So we will keep on cooperating with the local hop growers to experiment with the new stuff they offer us.
Okay.
And it will be IPA.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Nice. Ok. Very, 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 very interesting. Donc, ils vont ressortir du coup une nouvelle série de leur gamme Everyday. So we got a lot of good questions. So this is a very typical question that we get. What is your favorite beer? Do you have one, or as much as the vast majority of people, you rotate from favorite styles or favorite beers?
I not have favorite styles. I just my favorite beer is a quality beer.
Yes, that's a good answer. That is a good answer. So a good question. So, all right. So I'm not sure I understand the question. Benoit says that you had a New England IPA that was called 12, maybe, if I understand correctly, and you really liked it. Do you plan on brewing that again?
Yes, we will have this beer with another name. It will be released in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. This is today you saw a lot of exclusive information from us.
Yes, I'm sure. Yes, exactly.
So this one will be released maybe in 3 weeks. The name is IPA Plus Mango. So
Okay.
this is the IPA we brew like December,
Okay.
and a lot of people love it, and every time asking us to rebrew it. So we will do it. We rebrew it like a new beer, IPA plus mango. So this is the label of this beer, and it will be
Nice.
very soon.
Awesome. Yeah, you're right. A lot of exclusive information. Donc oui, Benoît, alors, je suis désolé, je ne connaissais pas du coup cette bière, donc j'avais pas la référence, mais ouais, il la rebrasse et elle ressort en début de mois prochain. A good question from Fabien that tells us, do you plan to come in France? And I'm guessing it's mostly for tap takeovers or beer festivals. And I can maybe extend the question. Are you currently doing some traveling and some beer festivals, or is it everything on hold with COVID?
We would love to go in France. One of the best beer
Come.
festivals in our history was actually Lyon.
Yep.
I was
there.
Lyon 2 years ago, and it was a very lovely festival, and I would love to go back. And actually, right now borders are closed, so we don't have any plans, but we would love to. Just invite us.
We will do it. So our company is based in Lyon, so I would be very happy to invite you in Lyon, of course. Donc il nous dit qu'évidemment il serait ravi de revenir en France et de retravailler et de revoyager, pardon. Mais les frontières sont actuellement fermées, donc c'est impossible. Ceci dit, leur meilleur souvenir de festival, c'est Lyon, il y a, alors je sais plus si c'était 2 ou 3 ans. Et alors j'avais la chance d'être présent et je confirme que c'était un très très gros fest. Et voilà, donc du coup ils ont passé un très bon moment et sont impatients de revenir à Lyon. A good question from Camille that asks us if all your cans are in the 50 centiliter format, or do you have other cans? I'm guessing maybe 33 centiliters or the type of format for cans.
Maybe we would personally prefer the smaller cans, but 0.5 liters is a standard can size in Czech Republic.
Okay.
And all the microbreweries doing half a liter, and all the big breweries doing the half a liter sizes. So maybe some stronger beers we will put in the smaller cans in the future.
Okay.
But half a liter cans is a standard can size in the Czech Republic. And the same like this is a huge bottle, 0.75.
Nice.
This is standard bottle size in the Czech Republic from the microbreweries. We can't put smaller bottles. Just people don't buy it here.
Yeah. Donc, all right. So let me translate that. Donc, effectivement, la canette en 0,5, c'est le format standard en République tchèque. Donc, du coup, c'est vraiment, voilà, il n'y a pas de 0,44 ou de 0,47 comme ça peut être le cas dans d'autres pays. Il nous explique qu'ils ont en tête potentiellement de faire du 0,33, enfin du 33 centilitres pour des bières beaucoup plus fortes, mais pour le moment, c'est pas encore prévu. Et donc, l'autre format qu'ils vont travailler, à part la bouteille de 33 et de 0,5, c'est la bouteille en 0,75 et ils nous montraient un exemple de grandes bouteilles qu'ils peuvent bosser. J'en profite donc pour répondre à 2 commentaires. Virgile, je suis d'accord, le Lyon Beer Festival, c'est top. On est très très fan. On a hâte que ça reprenne pour y participer. Et Camille, je suis d'accord avec toi. J'espère que dans 2 semaines, il n'y aura plus de confinement Bière Fest, mais qu'on pourra inviter tout le monde en physique à faire un festival, BLB. All right, so do you? I see that the time is flying with you guys, and that's very good news. Maybe do you? I'm going to ask if people want to do a tour of the brewery. Est-ce que vous voulez faire un petit tour de la brasserie, peut-être en finissant cette bière, avant de passer à la toute dernière, qui est celle-là, qui est de l'Imperial Baltic Porter. Donc, dites-nous dans les commentaires si vous êtes prêts à finir celle-ci et à basculer sur la dernière bière qu'on va goûter. Right, I just asked everybody if they want to do the tour of the brewery, or if they want to wait a little bit before doing that. By the way, you mentioned that you were canning or finalizing canning right now. Is it okay if we have another look at the brewery, or is
Yeah.
it feasible, or are you guys working on there? Or let us know, by the way.
I can make a tour, a little bit, a small tour on the brewery if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you want to make it not from a balcony, a little bit closer, right?
Exactly, if that's possible, because a lot of people actually have not seen a brewery, and so are very curious to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
I like the fact, Ruslan, that you make sure that you do not move without a full glass.
Another one.
It is a good reflex. Yeah.
Cheers.
J'aime beaucoup le fait qu'on resserve le verre avant de descendre dans la brasserie.
So, one new tour from the balcony first, and then I can go downstairs and show it from the closer perspective. This is our brew house again for someone just connected to us. So we have a 20-hectare brew house. We have 14 tanks, 20 and 40 hectoliters. We have a canning line, a bottling line here, and some kegging line here, and kegs, bottles. So I will go downstairs and will show you a little bit closer.
Nice.
Hopefully, we made some cleaning today.
Very nice. I see that you have a lot of metal kegs. Do you do key kegs as well? Or
yes, for sure. Without COVID situation, we doing a lot of kegs because bar culture in the Czech Republic is very huge. So every people right now want to go back to the bars and drink their favorite craft beer.
Yes, I agree with you. Everybody wants to go back to the bar and drink beer. Yeah.
So here a little bit closer. This is our brew house. It's a little bit oversized 20 hectoliter brew house.
Yep.
And not will go too technical on this, but we have a little bit automation here.
Yep.
So this is our canning line.
Okay.
This is our another brewmaster. So here our canning line. Doing cans right now.
Maybe if you allow me, I will translate as we go, just to make sure that people that do not speak English.
Yeah, for sure. Please.
Donc là, on vient de passer du coup devant la ligne d'embouteillage, donc on a bien reconnu sur la machine qui est utilisée, et puis donc on a vu les premiers tanks. You can say hello, by the way, to the guy that is working. Et Christelle, bah, écoute, aucun souci pour le retard, et je confirme, la lager est vraiment très très bonne. On a adoré ici aussi, c'était très cool. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So that's it. Here we have a bottling and we have fermentation in the tanks. This is just a brewery. Yeah, okay. Actually we have a cold storage because we love to keep all the beers cold. Even we brew one or we import in one. So we have big cold storage here. So this is 5 degrees centigrade, and we just keep and recommend to you to keep our beer cold as well.
Okay. Very good. So, donc, pour traduire, oui, c'est effectivement ça. Ça ressemble à toutes les autres brasseries, donc c'est vraiment un site industriel de production. Il y a une chambre froide, donc pour stocker, c'est ce qui doit être stocké en froid. Et puis ensuite, on retrouve les différentes étapes classiques d'une brasserie moderne. Right, very good.
Someone needs to more technical tour. I wish he could come to us in a couple of months and visit us in person.
So this is a question that we got a lot before the live, which is, do you allow visits, or is it possible to visit the brewery and to shop directly at your brewery for people that are in?
It is possible, for sure. Okay. Please visit us.
Okay. Donc du coup, pour les questions qu'on a reçues par message tout à l'heure et cet après-midi sur nos différentes pages, donc oui, c'est possible de venir de venir visiter la brasserie, et c'est également possible évidemment d'acheter des bières directement sur place, quoi.
And bring your favorite beer with you. of course.
Et, et ramenez vos meilleures bières. I guess it's always a good way to get to know each other. Sharing a beer, that's the spirit,
right.
Yeah. Ouais, donc on est bien dans l'esprit de partage qui caractérise la bière artisanale. Hein. C'est cet esprit qu'on aime tellement, qui est que du coup, voilà, ne venez pas les mains vides et vous ne repartirez pas les mains vides. On est vraiment dans l'échange autour de notre passion commune. I'm getting a lot of push to move to the next beer. I think that we can move to the bottle, to the Imperial Baltic Porter. Yes, this one exactly. Yeah. Can you explain to us more precisely what is it? I mean, what are we drinking? What exactly is the style? All that stuff.
Okay, so this is our Imperial Baltic Porter. So it is basically a really, really strong black Pilsner beer. We put around 8 or 10 different malts to balance it, to get it interesting, and to get a strong beer that you can enjoy for a long time and sip it slowly. And we were really surprised about how popular this got, because it's not the kind of beer that many people drink, but we brewed it once and it got sold out immediately, and people loved it and asked it to come back. So it actually became a part of our current range. Nice. And the name of it is actually an icebreaker, which is works.
Okay, very good. All right, so let me translate that, and then we have a lot of very interesting questions. So first of all, guys, cheers. The beer looks amazing. Donc, on est sur une bière très forte, hein, qui est un Baltic Porter un peu pimpé. C'est vraiment une bière de dégustation à boire lentement, à savourer. Donc, évidemment, aucun comment dire. Là, je m'attends pas à ce qu'on l'ait terminé avant la fin du live. Voilà, et c'est une bière qui a un très très gros succès chez eux et qui du coup est brassée tous les ans et de façon régulière. We got a good question from Benoit that asks us, have you ever done, or are you interested in doing collaborations with French breweries?
We would love to, for sure. Yeah.
All right, let me arrange that. I will arrange it.
Please do.
Yeah, please do it.
Let's open the borders and we'll be glad to travel.
Okay. So yeah, of course. But so you have not done you've never done a collaboration with a French brewery in the past?
We know a couple of brewers in France actually. Yeah, I'm really waiting for a borders to open to go.
Of course, yeah. No, that makes sense. Well, the nose on the beer is amazing. You can, it's very chocolatey coffee type of effectivement, je trouve le nez de la bière hyper intéressant.
About barrel-aged beers?
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
We have barrel-aged program, but now it's so limited, so we not in near future we will distribute this beer abroad.
Okay.
We have some very small release of barrel-aged beer next week, I think, but will be limited to our shop. And I think to some bottle shops in Prague, but it's so limited yet. I think we will make something in next couple of years with it.
We already have some.
So there will be a lot of disappointment in that answer, but I will translate it anyways.
Translate it, please.
But to make it better, we already have some barrels well hidden, and it takes some time for these beers to develop. And one of them is this beer in an interesting barrel. So hopefully,
and by the way, before
when it's ready,
the beer is absolutely amazing, and I had on purpose not tried it before the live, and it's really excellent. Congratulations, guys. Donc je traduis la question sur leur gamme de séries barriquées. Donc oui, ils ont effectivement un petit programme de bière vieillie, mais qui est en quantité tellement limitée que c'est uniquement destiné à l'achat directement à la brasserie et de temps en temps sur leur shop en ligne. pas à l'étranger pour le coup, qui est vraiment destiné à la République tchèque. Et vraiment de façon exceptionnelle, les bottle shops de Prague ont la chance d'avoir quelques bouteilles de leur gamme barriquée. C'est quelque chose qu'ils veulent étendre dans le futur, mais aujourd'hui, c'est quelque chose qui est fait, mais très, de façon très, très limitée, quoi. A question from Pierre that asks us, what is the best French beer that you have tasted?
I had some very good, nice beer barrel aged from the Clog Brewery from Paris, Le Nautil or something. I maybe not pronounced rightly, but Nautil, I think, the brewery.
Okay, yes, there is one brewery that is called Nautil, absolutely. Yeah. Ok. Non, donc pour répondre à la question, c'est donc effectivement ils avaient goûté des brasseries, donc des bières barriquées, je pense donc toute la brasserie Nautil, si je comprends bien, et qu'ils ont effectivement bien aimé. I agree with Florian's comment that says this is very coffee on the nose and on the tongue. Is it something that you were looking for while brewing that beer, and what do you do to get to that very great coffee type of taste that we get?
Basically, what you do is you layer different kind of black malt. So we try to choose different kinds of black malt and a dark caramel malts that we combine in order to create this more complex flavor, like dehusked Carafa 2 special and so on. These are the malts that really make this chocolatey aroma that when you combine it with a caramel malt and with some hop bitterness and with some alcohol, it really makes this complex, really nice coffee-ish beer that you can sip for a long time.
Okay, interesting. Donc oui, effectivement, donc c'est le côté torréfié de la bière est tout à fait recherché. Et je ne suis pas assez expert pour traduire correctement ce que Ruslan nous a expliqué, mais donc c'est quelque chose qui est recherché dans le processus de brassage. A good question here. Did you or will you use a Czech absinthe? And if we expand to the question, do you like to infuse fruit or any other ingredient into the beer?
Actually, it's illegal to put any alcohol to the beer, so we can't put absinthe to the beer.
Yeah.
Oh, we can just for tasting purpose in our own glass, maybe. But I never tried it. Even if when I was student, I haven't tried to put absinthe to the beer.
No, and I think that the question is more. It's not. Are you mixing both? Because of course this is a big no. But are you using the absinthe type of
like absinthe? Yeah, like herbs.
Exactly.
Right now we waiting very closely to one of the best distillery in the Czech Republic.
Okay.
Very small crowd distillery, not far away from Prague. The name of the distillery is Landcraft.
Okay.
They help us also to distill what was left in tank after sorbet and yummy stuff, because we put a lot of fruits in some beers. We put 50% of fruits in the beer, and most of these fruits just stay in the tank. So in the end, we have sometimes, if we have 2,000 liter tanks, in the end we can have almost 1 ton of spent fruit here. And we have to just get rid of it. And so we have a very good friends then just taking this and make a distillation.
Okay.
And we actually had a very limited release of the sea buckthorn.
Ah, nice. Okay.
So like whiskey stuff from our sea buckthorn fruits after our sorbet. But the question was about maceration of herbs. Actually, right now we're working with them, but it's a secret actually. Yeah. Again,
Okay, so let me try to translate that. Donc là, Michel vient de nous donner un grand secret puisque donc sur ta question, effectivement, ils sont en train d'expérimenter des bières avec les. Alors je sais pas si ce sont des feuilles ou une herbe. Enfin, je connais pas le terme exact, mais en tout cas avec de l'absinthe. Alors évidemment, au début, ils ont mal compris tes questions. Sur le côté mélanger les alcools, évidemment, ils ne le font pas, c'est totalement interdit. Mais donc oui, et c'est une avant-première ce soir. Ils sont en test et sont sur le point de sortir une bière à l'absinthe. Good question from Margot here that is asking us, how easy is it right now to find barrels for your barrel-aged beers? And where do you buy them?
It's not so easy these days to get barrels anymore. You get some distributors, but a couple of years ago, there wasn't so many breweries barrel aging the beer, and it was easier to get. Now it's more rare, and now we have to be more careful about the quality. So there are professional companies who deal with that, but it's not so easy anymore.
Ok. Donc non, c'est de plus en plus compliqué de trouver des barils. Des barriques pour faire vieillir les bières, notamment à cause du Covid. Question from Florian that is asking us. Yeah.
For the film, no, the rules are not different. You just need more patience because the fermentation is slower. It goes colder. So actually, this beer from malting from putting in the malt in water to actually drinking the beer takes about 2 months. So you really need to ferment it slowly and lower, and it's quite close to the normal porter, but you don't get too many esters. You get a clean flavor.
Yeah, more malty on the side because you don't have all this fruity aroma from the top fermentation. Because on the stronger beers and the higher temperature, ale yeast produce more fruity aromas. So with the bottom ferment, you need more time.
Okay, so I will try to translate that as accurately as possible. So, donc non, effectivement, il ne faut pas plus de malt ou de houblon ou bien des houblons différents qu'un porteur normal. La seule chose qui change, c'est le temps de fermentation et la patience que ça prend de brasser une bière qui est du coup qui est plus forte et un petit peu différente. All right, good.
We just wanted to finish about the distillery we were working with. Yeah. We just had the guys from distillery being here in a brewery, and we were discussing with them to brew a beer which would use herbs instead of hops. Would basically make a gruit, and they are really good with working with herbs. They make lots of different kinds of gin and so on. So we tried a couple small 20-30 liter homebrew batches with them to see if it would work with herbs. So hopefully in the nearby future, we will use herbs to make our beer aromatic and bitter instead of hops. So that's one of our purposes in the future.
Very interesting. Okay, so okay, let me translate that. Donc effectivement, ils cherchent quand même à développer de nouveaux segments de bière et notamment à travers les herbes qui sont utilisées. Et donc c'est vraiment leur focus là-dessus. All right, so I think we are having a last few batches of questions. So a question from Simon that is asking us. What is the beer that made you think, all right, I want to be a brewer, that's what I want to do with my life?
Které pivo tě, na základě kterého piva se rozhodnou, že budeš vařit pivo?
This is a very good question.
Yeah, a difficult one.
Yeah. So when I start to brew craft beer, I start to wonder how beer is made, and start to read everything I can about beer brewing.
Okay.
So this was the point, and actually, I think mostly it was. I don't have one particular beer, but I think this time I try beer from Nogni or Michele or some very
Okay.
fruity IPAs, which became a thing like 9-10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think this was the point I start to thinking about try to do it myself.
Donc bah, ça a été un process. Il n'y a pas vraiment de bière en particulier. Ce qui lui a donné envie d'être brasseur, c'est de comprendre exactement comment était fait la bière. Il a ensuite découvert la craft beer avec des boîtes comme Mikkeller. Et ça lui a donné envie d'en savoir plus sur comment faire pour répliquer ces bières-là. This was not easy to translate, so I hope I did a good job. The beer that we're drinking, and again, I cannot highlight enough how much I like this beer. It's absolutely phenomenal. So congratulations, guys. It's a great beer. What is the temperature that you advise drinking it? Do you recommend heating it a little bit or letting it heat, or do you drink it straight from the fridge?
My advice would be like 15 centigrade.
My advice would be pour a full glass and drink it for an hour. Yeah. It's gonna develop. It's gonna get more flavorful, and it's gonna get better.
And yes, I do agree with your point, and I will translate that. Donc effectivement, donc ce que recommande Ruslan, et je pense que c'est un excellent point sur ce type de bière, c'est de servir en fait l'intégralité de la canette ou de la bouteille, hein, d'ailleurs dans son verre, et de la boire progressivement, très lentement, pour la laisser se développer et apporter des choses différentes avec la température qui se réchauffe. On peut avoir des notes qu'on aura tout de suite sur une bière qui va être très froide en sortie de frigo, et puis ensuite ça va se développer et apporter des notes très différentes. Another question,
which is Thomas, we hope to brew it very soon. So we are working on this. We never did, and we are looking forward to trying that.
And because I am sure that a lot of people don't know what Groot is, can you remind us what it is and why it would be
basically exciting? What Groot used to be, it used to be beer before hops. It was the beer brewed with herbs and with different kind of herbs before somebody made it a law to brew beer with hops. So it was a whole different world of herbs that you can find somewhere, and you can try how they work.
Have you translated?
Yes, sorry, I got a little freeze. I got a technical problem. So yes, absolutely. So donc effectivement, ils espèrent brasser le Groot. Alors je sais même pas comment on dit ça en français. Et donc c'est de la bière avant fermentation. Donc ils espèrent pouvoir la brasser rapidement. C'est un projet qui les intéresse et qu'ils espèrent mener à bien. Very good. All right. Another question, maybe on the more technical side, and I have highlighted the question. And do you want to basically are you planning on brewing craft versions of traditional, if I can say it, Eastern Europe beer styles?
There are no any equivalent of the Polish kvass or Russian kvass or Ukrainian one in the Czech Republic.
Okay.
But this is a drink from my childhood, so I have some ideas to how to brew it in a craft version.
All right, so that is very interesting. That is, I would love to see. I would love to get the beer of your take on those styles. That would be amazing.
Cheese recommendation with the Baltic Porter.
Mm-hmm. I'm bad with cheeses.
Yes, any cheese you love will be good with the Baltic Porter.
Okay. Donc and let me translate maybe the two answers that you gave. Donc sur la question de Renaud, donc ils l'ont jamais fait, mais ils ont des idées assez précises de ce qu'ils voudraient faire avec ces styles-là. Et donc, ils l'ont jamais fait, mais ils aimeraient bien le faire. Et puis ensuite, sur la question de Virgile, quel fromage avec un Baltic Porter? Leur réponse, c'est n'importe quel fromage que tu as dans ton frigo. Et donc, du coup, je pense qu'ils se disent que ça se marie avec tous les fromages. Good question from Camille that tells us that you put 2031 on the best before date on your bottle. Would you advise buying several and let them age, obviously in good conditions? And how long what could you expect in terms of tasting differences in the beers that you have aged of this version of the beer?
Should taste very interesting. So I could advise to buy it just for curiosity how it would taste in 2031, because it could age very, very well.
These old beers really do age, old and dark age very well. And since we agreed it with a cap on a bottle, you get small dose, a really small dose you can get in there. The oxygen changes the beer. It makes it slightly more drier, more like red wine-ish. It changes. It gets less sweeter and more complex, actually.
Actually, it will be the best in the 5 years, and in the 10 years it will be not really.
So that is very interesting.
After 5 years, so this is for curiosity purpose. You definitely could do this.
All right, so that is a very interesting answer. So again, I'm going to try to translate it as accurately as possible. Donc, sur ta question, Camille, donc effectivement, ils recommandent absolument de la laisser vieillir. La bière se conserve, en fait, eux disent très au-delà de 2031 si elle est conservée dans de bonnes conditions. Ce qu'ils attendent sur le vieillissement, donc c'est un côté beaucoup plus sec, mais également le développement d'un goût plus vineux. Alors, Ruslan dit red wineish, donc côté vin rouge en fait, et puis un côté beaucoup plus complexe, sachant, et c'est un point très intéressant que j'avais pas en tête, mais eux conseillent alors évidemment pour faire en termes de curiosité, pour faire des tests, de la garder jusqu'à 10 ans, mais eux pensent que 5 ans c'est le bon nombre d'années pour faire vieillir cette bière-là. All right, thank you very much. Yes, I agree with Florian. Glass is so good. Yes, it is very good, and unfortunately, it's something that we don't find in France. So yeah. We'll get sorry, I will say that in French, but basically I'm saying that we'll get the last questions and then we'll end the streaming. But donc dernière question, puis après on va laisser du coup à Michel et Ruslan terminer leur journée de brassage. Une question de Margot. Donc quelle est la bière la plus vieille que vous avez gardée dans vos caves? So what is the oldest beer that you aged? And are you still aging some beers on your personal stocks, I would say?
Yeah, personal. Yeah.
For me, it's maybe 6-7 years now. There are some beers which have been there for a long time and looking forward to find an occasion to open them.
Okay, very good.
The same, yeah. About 7 years, maybe I have all this beer in my cave.
Very nice.
Actually, the cellar.
Yeah. I agree with Elsa. So we should have proposed 2 bottles, one to drink right now and one to age. We'll keep that in mind, hoping that there will never be another lockdown beer festival and that this is the last edition that we do. Est-ce qu'il reste des questions? Est-ce que vous avez des dernières questions à poser à Michel et Ruslan, ou est-ce qu'on va peut-être clôturer le stream maintenant? I'm just giving a couple minutes for people to ask any last questions that they might have, and if not, we'll close the stream. Yeah, I think this is it. So basically, in the name of everybody that participated, thank you so much, guys. That was very interesting. We love your beers here in France. I think you saw it, and we hope that we'll continue to get much more. in the future.
Thank you very much, and I really hope to see you in person very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope so as well. Absolutely. All right. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, and talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you to both of you. Cheers.
Have a good weekend.
Merci à tous d'avoir participé. C'était super de vous avoir. On a encore été quasiment 100 ce soir, donc un grand merci à tous ceux qui étaient présents. Et voilà, la dernière chose qui me reste à vous souhaiter, c'est terminez bien votre Imperial Baltic Porter et excellent vendredi soir à tous.